After slaughtering the contestants of a twisted game, the demonic doll Annabelle finds her Netflix and chill interrupted by the facility's remaining, unfeeling guardians, initiating a silent, brutal war of dolls. ACTI, the aftermath. The air in the dormitory was thick with the coppery scent of blood and the silence of the recently departed. Plastic beds were overturned, and dark, crimson streaks painted the cheerful pastel walls. In the center of the carnage, perched primly on a single clean pillow, sat Annabelle. Her porcelain face, forever fixed in a gentle smile, was a stark contrast to the horror she had wrought. The players were gone. Thanos, the loud, boastful one who had threatened to snap her out of existence, was now just a still shape under a sheet in the corner. A low, guttural chuckle seemed to emanate from the doll, though her smile never moved. With a flicker of static, the large screen at the front of the room turned on. A streaming service menu glowed. Netflix and chill. Her thought was a venomous whisper in the mind. She needed a drink to celebrate. Her glassy eyes scanned the room and landed on a small, glass bottle of milk that had toppled from a nightstand, miraculously unspilled. As she focused, the bottle trembled, then levitated, floating through the grisly air toward her. It was then that the TV flickered again. "Are you still watching?" The prompt was innocent, automated. To Annabelle, it was a profound insult. Her head twitched a full 180 degrees to face the screen. The air grew cold. The lights above buzzed and dimmed. She was being questioned? By a machine? Before her rage could manifest further, a new sound echoed down the sterile hallway outside. Clump. SHHHHH clump. SHHHHH. The rhythmic, heavy footfall and the drag of a weapon. ACT2, the guardians appear. The dormitory door hissed open. Silhouetted against the bright hallway light was a squid guard, his pink jumpsuit immaculate, his black mask with the circle, triangle, and square featureless and ominous. In one hand, he held a standard-issue baton. Behind him, moving with a jerky, unnatural grace, came the squid doll. Her giant, black dead eyes scanned the room, her head rotating with a soft whirring of servos, processing the unacceptable mess. They were programmed for one purpose: maintain order within the games. This deviation was a system error that needed cleaning. The guard pointed his baton at Annabelle. A synthetic voice emitted from his mask. Contaminant identified. Neutralize. Annabelle's levitated milk bottle shattered against the wall. This was her domain now. The Squid Doll suite, recorded voice echoed in the chamber, horribly out of place. Green light. The guard surged forward. Red light, she chirped as he froze mid-stride. It was a malfunction. Annabelle understood games. And she loved new ones. As the guard stood frozen by the doll's conflicting command, a shadow detached itself from the wall behind him. It was a shapeless, pitch-black entity with glowing white eyes, the demon that gave Annabelle life. It lunged, wrapping around the guard like smoke. The man didn't even have time to scream. His body was contorted with sickening crunches and cracks before being discarded in a broken heap in the corner. The squid doll's head rotated, processing the loss. Her programming assessed the threat level, extreme. She emitted a low-frequency alarm, calling reinforcements. ACT3, a clash of icons. Annabelle sat, unmoved. This mechanical woman was an affront to true terror. 3 more squid guards stormed the room, weapons raised. The demonic shadow shot out, but these guards were ready. They fired tasers, not at the shadow, which they couldn't comprehend, but at the doll itself. The prong struck Annabelle's dress, and a jolt of electricity surged through her porcelain form. For a moment, nothing. Then, Annabelle's head vibrated violently. A hairline crack appeared on her cheek. The lights in the room exploded in a shower of sparks, plunging the dormitory into emergency red light. In the bloody gloom, the true horror began. The demon became a whirlwind of fury. It used the spilled blood on the floor to form terrifying, shifting symbols on the walls. One guard, staring at a weeping Virgin Mary formed from his comrade's blood, was driven to insanity, turning his weapon on himself. Another found his own shadow moving independently, wrapping around his throat and squeezing until he dropped. The squid doll advanced, unaffected by psychological terror. She had no soul to corrupt. She reached for Annabelle with plastic hands. The game must be balanced. As her fingers were about to touch the doll, every screen in the room, the main TV, the guard's monitors, flashed to life with a distorted, hellish image of the squid doll's face, screaming silently. The real doll froze, her systems overloading from the paranormal feedback. Seizing the moment, Annabelle's demon focused its power. The metal frame of a bed twisted and shot forward like a spear, impaling the final guard and pinning him to the wall. The squid doll rebooted, her systems clearing. She was alone. She analyzed her primary objective: eliminate the contaminant. She began her final, relentless march toward the doll. ACT-4, checkmate. Annabelle's head tilted. This toy needed to be broken. As the squid doll loomed over her, Annabelle's porcelain jaw unhinged and dropped open. Not a chitter or a screech, but a vacuum of pure silence poured out, a sound so void it consumed all noise. The emergency lights flickered and died, leaving only the faint glow from the hallway. The squid doll's internal mechanics whirred in protest. Her cheerful music glitched and slowed into a demonic drone. Her head twitched erratically, her painted smile now a grimace of system failure. The demon's form enveloped her. Not to break her, but to claim her. Dark, oily tendrils seeped into the joints of her plastic shell, into the circuitry behind her dead eyes. The squid doll's arm raised, not to strike Annabelle, but to salute her. Her voice, when it came, was no longer a recording. It was a layered, horrific sound, the innocent tune of the game fused with the guttural growl of the demon. Green. Light. It hissed. The red emergency lights cut out. The main lights flickered back on, sterile and bright. The room was clean. The bodies of the guards were gone. Only Annabelle remained on her pillow. Beside her, now standing at rigid attention, was the squid doll. Her form was the same, but her eyes now held a faint, sickly yellow glow deep within. The large TV screen turned back on. The movie menu was still waiting. Annabelle's gaze returned to the screen. The levitated remote control clicked. "Are you still watching?" The new, corrupted squid doll's head rotated to face the screen. In a voice that was a promise of endless nightmares, it spoke for its new master. "We are always watching." The movie began to play. Annabelle, with her newest soldier standing guard, finally settled in for her well-earned rest. The games here were over. But her game was just beginning.